Election fraud! Election fraud! Stop the certification! Election fraud! Election fraud! Independent investigation! On May 5th, which is in 2 days, the Board of Elections are going to hand over the results to the state. These are the winners. There's too much evidence of election fraud and voter suppression and disenfranchisement to hand over those results. The Board of Elections sent 66,000 postcards to newly registered voters stating that the primaries were in September. Number two, hundreds of thousands of voters across the state of New York had their registration deleted. 126,000 in Brooklyn alone. All other counties in the state of New York, voter registration percentage went up. In Brooklyn, it went down. That doesn't make any sense. Number three, thousands of voters in New York City had their parties switched. You had people show up. It said on the website, I'm a registered Democrat. They turned them away anyway. Lastly, over 100,000 affidavits were filled in New York City. Those votes are not counted towards the results of the primaries. This is election fraud on a grand scale, and it's unacceptable. Yes.
For the first docket of order for you guys to just deny a motion to adjourn certification without having heard anybody's voices first.
Yeah, that's right.
Is unpalatable to me. I registered on time.
Okay, so you got to vote.
I got to vote,
Okay.
but my
Let others
brothers
vote.
and sisters did not. I saw senior citizens who made arrangements to get to their polling location, turned around. They've been active Democrats, active Republicans. It had nothing to do with their party or who they were voting for. The fact that they were denied the right to vote undermines democracy.
Yeah.
Affidavit ballots are counted, and we have an accurate number, which is why we have adjourned the certification.
Stop lying.
Concerned about the New York City primary and what this represents is an assault on democracy. All of these votes are placed in a black box. This black box is unaccountable, untestable, privately run software from the two companies that you have hired to count our votes. So when the votes come out of this black box, they do not reflect the New York City or the national votes. In 22 primaries, the votes have shifted in 20 of them. The exit polling data in New York State shifted 12%. A shift of 2% is fraud, according to the U.S. State Department. So that's what we've seen across the country. Mathematician has been studying election data for years.
Directly into the mic. We can hear you.
All right, calm down.
Don't get it.
Or we're going to cut off the mic.
Me.
I'll cut it off.
So only the developers can see the software. Only the hired contractors can see the software. It's a completely untransparent process. This software is stealing votes. All I can say is this country can't survive much more of your kind of democracy. Thank you.
There's no even thought about a revote. It's shocking to me. It's not democracy. I don't know what country I live in.
2/3 of the ballots were thrown away that we won't get to see. We want all provisional ballots, all affidavits to count.
My friend who came with me and had his proof there that he was had been a registered voter, he was denied his right to vote and had to vote affidavit. This is ridiculous.
Election fraud! Election fraud! Stop the certification!
How can you certify the election?
How do you count votes where people didn't vote?
We cannot.
How do you count ballots when people didn't vote?
If you want a polite exchange and an explanation for what's going on, we'll do that.
Then
If you
suspend the
don't,
certification.
and
I'm
you just
asking you a question.
Officer, can you escort her out?
Right?
How are you going to count my vote? I didn't get to vote.
Miss, come on out.
has a right to say that.
Yeah, she has a right to vote.
You're wrong. My vote is not going to get counted.
She wasn't able to vote.
American people and say, shut the fucking election down until everything is taken care of.
The only curse word here is fraud.
You want us to stand here and believe that you can't go to a Republican that, oh, but when the Democrats switch registration, all of a sudden nobody gets fired. Oh, okay, so you're going to look at us as citizens and say we're morons. You're going to insult the people who elected you and really look at us and tell us that you shouldn't be standing out here with us. Just as mad. You're going to look at each and every one of these people.
It is our fault. It is our fault. It is not your fault. I understand.
A petition for a recount in New York at change.org.
Criminal charges.
Election fraud! Election fraud! Election fraud!